nobody's texting war plans. Well, I noticed this morning, out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day. I looked at them this morning. I looked at attack plans this morning. You know who does attack plans and war plans? Men like that admiral right there, Paparo, for the Indo-Pacific, or Eric Kurilla, our general in CENTCOM. They do attack plans and war plans. And thank God we have those leaders who do it and do it well, and our enemies know it. My job, as it said atop of that, everybody's seen it now, team update, is to provide updates in real time. General updates in real time, keep everybody informed. That's what I did. That's my job. The war fighters will take the fight to the enemy, and I love what they do. And with President Trump's leadership, our enemies are on notice. We will have peace through strength, and we'll keep putting our troops first. Thank you very much. We're heading off.
Strike plans before they launch. Mr. Secretary.
Let's see what the guy you accidentally texted war plans had to say about that.
I want to start by getting your reaction to what we heard from Secretary Hegseth there, saying that nobody was texting war plans. Given you were privy to this group chat, is that how you saw it?
No, that's a lie. He was texting war plans.
I don't know why there's any debate about this. I mean,
we have said all along that no classified material was sent on this messaging thread. There were no locations, no sources.
Yes, you know the mainstream media, the way they usually pick up stories, they will take it to another level, like, we know the hoaxes. It has been happening every single day. The White House press secretary shared this on X. The Atlantic has considered they were not war plans. This entire story was another hoax written by a Trump hater who is well known for this. When you take a look at the title of this article, here are the attack plans that Trump advisors shared on Signal. The administration has downplayed the importance of the text messages inadvertently sent to the Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey. Okay, when you take a look at these were not war plans. They have put it this way, attack plans. Because in that text messages they release again, you will not see locations. Like Pet said at the beginning of this video, that contradict what they said initially and what the mainstream media has already carried on. I don't know how they classify this, but I'm just reporting the news so you can see exactly what is going on.
But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone, and we're going to figure out how this happened.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this right now?
Well, look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
But how did the number? I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic here, but how did the number?
Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name, and then you have somebody else's number there?
I never make those mistakes.
Right? You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact. So of course I didn't see this loser in the group. It looked like someone else. Now whether he did it deliberately or it happened in some other technical mean is something we're trying to figure out.
So your staffer did not put his contact information.
No,
but how did it end up in your phone?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, but that's a pretty big problem.
That's what we've got the best technical minds, right?
That's disturbing.
And that's where, I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person and then a different phone number.
But you've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in,
you that
it gets
contact.
sucked in.
Was there someone else supposed to be on the chat that wasn't on the chat that you thought was?
So
on
the person that I thought was on there was never on there. It was this
Who
guy.
was that? What person?
Well, I'm not. Look, okay. Laura, I take responsibility. I built the group.
Okay.
Director Gabbard, I want to direct your attention again to the text chain where it says, Just confirm.
Yes, this is currently trending on social media. Oh, he should resign. When you take a look at this on Texas faces calls for resignations over security breach allegation. The sector of defense bed is embroiled in controversies of allegations of taxing sensitive military operation. Now details in a group chat leading to calls for his resignation from several political figures, including
Director Gabbard, I want to direct your attention again to the text chain where it says, just confirmed with CENTCOM, we are a go for mission launch. Does that indicate to you that there is about to be a military operation?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, earlier in this hearing, we heard about the DoD's classification standards. I want to now turn my attention to your classification standards. You're the Director of National Intelligence. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence classification guide says, quote, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing for an attack, end quote, is to be classified as top secret. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, have the Houthis indicated an ability to shoot down American aircraft?
Yes.
They have in fact done so, haven't they?
Yes.
Including MQ-9 Reapers, haven't they?
That's correct.
And that was one of the systems used in the attack recently that's the subject of this discussion, is it not?
Correct.
General Cruz, are you familiar with this system?
I'm not wearing my glasses at the moment, but...
Well, I'll help you out. This is an SA-3 anti-aircraft system.
Correct.
Are you familiar with this next system?
I am.
What is it?
I'm going to have to ask you.
It's an SA-6.
I'm going to guess that
this is also an advanced anti-aircraft system, is it not?
It is. It was used widely in the Balkans in the 90s, correct?
Yes, I believe you're seeing exactly what is going on. At a certain point, I didn't want to report on this video. Reason I had to skip, not to, proceed reporting on this topic because of some issues. Yesterday, I noticed something. I uploaded a video on this channel about this topic. It took that video 6 hours for YouTube to approve monetizations on that video. It was just a normal video reporting on this issue. Reason, I don't know. I had to just take a break. I didn't report on this topic because of that, because of things, I said on that video. If you notice, I'm someone who report the news based on the information I get on reliable sources. If I don't put up articles, I don't even read it. Reason, if you see most of my clips, I put the information I'm reading so you can see. Maybe for people who don't understand how I speak, that's the reason I do that. This topic is just what we say on social, because everything is on social media. So if I'm reporting, I'm not going into some kind of details because I know less. I'm saying this for people who don't understand what exactly I do on this channel. I just report the truth. And sometimes I don't even want to touch videos from the mainstream media for reason
outrageous to me. Completely outrageous to me that administration officials come before us today with impunity, no acceptance of responsibility, excuse after excuse after excuse, while we send our men and women downrange to do incredibly difficult, incredibly dangerous things on our behalf. And yet, nobody is willing to come to us and say this was wrong. This was a breach of security and we won't do it again. It is outrageous and it is a leadership failure, and that's why Secretary Hegseth, who undoubtedly transmitted classified, sensitive operational information via this chain, must resign immediately.
Why aren't launch times on a mission strike classified?
Again, I would defer you to the Secretary of Defense's statement he put out this morning. There were various reasons he listed, things that were not included in that messaging thread that were not classified. And again, going back to the American public, do you trust the Secretary of Defense, who was nominated for this role, voted by the United States Senate into this role, who has served in combat, honorably served our nation in uniform? Or do you trust Jeffrey Goldberg, who is a registered Democrat and an anti-Trump sensationalist reporter?
It's so deeply unserious.
It's so sick. And you know,
One on a follow-up on something you just said, but since we have these messages released, and you said that the president has now personally reviewed them, at the chat, at one point, Pete Hegseth wrote, 1415 strike drones on target, and in all caps he said, this is when the first bombs will definitely drop. Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay,
Philip.
and on my follow-up on what you had just said.
Go ahead, Philip.
Caitlin,
I'm not taking your follow-up.
I have a follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin,
regarding
I'm not
Jeffrey
taking
Goldberg.
your follow-up. Philip, go ahead. I have called on you.
Also, I mean, we're doing this in a world where the Democrats now have a 27% approval rating. So explain that to me. And by the way, 11% with independents, I think in the same NBC poll. 11% with independents. I mean, I said this at the end of last year, like, you lost a crazy contest to a crazy person. What is the answer for the Democrats there? Because they seem to be having a civil war right now.
This is not what they are saying. They should resign. I like Trump's response to all these. I don't want to even talk much. Thank you guys for always been there sharing on my videos. God bless you abundantly. For clips you see after this video, that is just for the YouTube algorithm reasons. I always put them at the end.
That this text image did not include the full package of everything that they knew and everything that they could see and hear on the ground. But there is definitely some details, at least about timing, that is available. But the White House basically, or rather top national security officials basically dared The Atlantic to put this out.
I believe you heard that. The White House press secretary actually spoke with this guy, and he went ahead to publish the information. You know, I have seen him becoming a star in the Democrat Party, or he's moving from one mainstream media to another. On CNN, talk about this, talk about that, and they are still claiming like they are classified information. I saw another text message surfacing today, which I'm going to do a different segment so you can see exactly what is going on.
Fuel on the fire that there's a potential.
The economy added 16 points.
Your show's on YouTube.
It's a different mechanism. It's the same thing, though.
1980, so I
Come after us, and that's the way it is.
George
Later. Unfortunately, all of this good is happening for our country. This administration is working hard on behalf of the American public.